You're watching And Now the Band. And today I have the honor of having Dave Krusen on the show, who is I think everyone's favorite drummer from Pearl Jam and also played in Hovercraft and Candlebox and now King Ultra Mega, which is what a like fantastic idea that is overall.
Yeah.
How'd you get involved with that?
Well, Mark gave me a call and invited me to come and join the rest of the lineup. He didn't have everybody in place, I don't think, but we spoke about what he was doing. He was telling me what he had in mind. It sounded amazing, you know what I mean? It's a great cause and getting to attempt to play a Soundgarden song with those guys sounded like a lot of fun, and it was. Yeah, ended up. Yeah, it was super enjoyable, and Lizzie's vocals are blowing my mind, and everybody
Oh,
else.
yeah. Yeah, what a I think everyone who is a part of that, and I probably need to preface this by saying like Alyssa is not my like favorite vocalist. Like she's a good vocalist, but I think on this, on the release on the song she did, she sounds great on. And everyone on all the songs, obviously starting with Loud Love, I think offers something unique to each song that isn't like you don't listen to it and go, oh, they're just ripping off the band, right? Like it's a very
Yeah,
tasteful homage
cool,
for
cool.
me,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
What was the like for you going through, obviously, you've been a part of that scene for, many, many decades at this point. So when you went back and started listening to the song and learning or relearning the song, was it like did it bring back memories for you and were you in like a certain headspace?
Yeah, well, it's the song They Want to Do Loud Love, and I was like, it's one of my favorites, has been for a long, long time. And Matt's drumming is just so amazing on it. I was a little nervous to try and tackle it, but then once I got into the song and just really kind of, you know, got to play along with the band in my headphones for a while and then hacking away and kind of trying a little bit too hard to emulate what he was doing. Um, then it just became more about like just finding my space in it and having fun with it. And then it kind of got locked in there and then yeah, then it was just enjoyable and played it a few more times, just sweat my ass off and you know, try to get a good take.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be hard, obviously learning a song that is so well known, you can't just go out and go, well, this is mine. It's trying to find that space. Did you feel like it took you a fair amount of time to find your space in that song and to, I don't know, get in that groove?
It did for sure, yeah. I just realized at a certain point, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to nail it. So, you know what I mean? Kind of just rely on playing how it feels good. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, once I did that, it was like, okay, now I'm kind of understanding the song as a whole. Growing up listening to it, or geez, I was in my 20s, but still, it's like,
Well,
uh,
at that point, we're still kids, right? Like,
yeah, for sure. And yeah, just kind of first thinking in terms of drums, you know what I mean? And then kind of after hacking away and flailing away, I just kind of got into the spirit of the song, you know what I mean? Like really listened to Chris's singing and the guitar and bass groove and yeah, and then I just kind of tried to fit in that and it was a lot more doable. And yeah, I think it came out when it's all said and done, listening to everyone's performance now, man, I'm super blown away. Yeah, I'm stoked to be a part of this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think everyone that is a part of it should be stoked because I think it's really hard to do it tastefully when take someone as iconic as Chris and
Yeah,
Soundgarden and Audio Slave and just try to pay homage without being an I don't want to say an asshole about it, but doing it tastefully, right?
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Did you like hmm, I'm gonna I don't know how to ask this question correctly, so I'm just gonna like throw it out there. I'm very much like whatever. For like while while you were playing the song, did it bring back, memories from when everything was like happening back then? Like good, bad
Yeah,
memories, whatever.
yeah, it's a good question. It did. Yeah, it definitely did. Listening to the song a lot and really kind of like getting immersed in that song, you know what I mean? It brought back like when that song came out and totally blew my mind, so many people's. But to be in Seattle at that time and have that come out, it was just so kind of definitely life changing for me. You know what I mean? It was like, wow, I just love, I'd heard him before, but when that song came out, it's like this is completely unique. There's obviously influences there, but they do their own thing with all of it. And yeah, it made me proud to be from here. Seriously, like that band's representing my
Yeah.
whole area. It was pretty cool.
It was, like that whole era was one of my favorite eras of music.
Cool.
From, my introduction was Nirvana's Bleach.
Oh yeah,
You
amazing.
know, what it like so what an iconic album that
Yeah,
just
yeah,
really helped take them to that next level. And I feel like it really opened a lot of doors, like Soundgarden had some issues like getting a hold of, if I remember right, now this is 35, 40 years ago we're talking. God, we are that old.
I know.
Uh, but I feel like Soundgarden had some issues. I don't want to say finding their footing, but finding like a mass audience for their music. And then you had Nirvana and Alice in Chains, and of course Pearl Jam, and then Soundgarden. Like that's in my mind, that is the big four of grunge, and everyone sounded they so unique unto themselves, which
Yeah,
is
yeah, I know it's kind of crazy, huh? I get it now looking back why like the entire music industry kind of flocked here and so many people. It kind of became like a movement and they just really was just overflowing with talent. There weren't enough record deals for all the talent in the town. It was honestly so many great bands,
yeah,
that maybe didn't get a deal. Or the other thing is it was so huge. It was like the bands that first got signed and started blowing up and everything. I have friends that had great bands that right a year or two into everything coming out and taking off and everything, getting deals. And then it became, let's see if there's a single. You know what I mean? Let's see if a
yeah,
song takes off and then we'll do a video. And if all that happens, then you'll get tour support. It was kind of the 180-degree turn from how it had been like, you put you on tour, like build a fan base, you know what I mean? Have a song on the
yeah,
radio that you're out playing to promote that song versus like you're playing now on the road. the song has propelled you to get tour support to go out on the road. So things really changed there. I also feel like the four bands you're mentioning, we recorded the tape. We were the last, that was kind of the last group of bands that had, that were able to do it the old school way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like go into a nice studio, record a tape, get tour support, go on the road, build an audience. It's really, that was, kind of the cutoff point. It was right after that, 92, 93. That's when everything started to change. And um, sadly, I don't think it ever really, it's
Recovered.
just, it was such a, I feel like just common sense formula. You know what I mean? Like the band records, you're getting it to radio, they're doing a video or whatever, but then go out and build an audience. It just seems like common sense to me. So how that got turned around, they're cutting corners and saving money. It's like,
Are you saving money?
yeah,
Right?
it's like
Like
so you can have more profit. Yeah, that's the other thing. Completely illogical. Like, aren't you like gonna make more money in the end when the bands do, it just
it's that
yeah.
old adage, don't step over a dollar to save a penny, right? Like,
Yeah, that's good. I've never heard that, but that makes perfect sense. Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting to think what would have happened if, you know, uh, things hadn't blown up, until like 93, 94. Could it have been completely different? I don't know. But I think, yeah, it's kind of a weird thing that happened when it did. We kind of like, looking back, it's like that's really the last time. That was kind of an end of an era. It really was. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, it was, of course, the end of the of hair metal and all of that, which is it's so, I think hair metal had that kind of that, well, let's put a single out and see what happens, and then we'll see what we're
Yeah,
following. Whereas
probably.
like the grunge era was very or that, that community was much more of the like punk mindset. Like let's get out, we'll play, we'll record, we'll build our fan base, and when you start getting uh I'm going to say Wall Street, but like investors and people with money, and that is their only thought. They don't care about the art. It's,
Mhm.
oh man, if we cut this corner on this album, we can make another 3 or 4 thousand dollars. Or,
Yeah.
like, well, shit, you're missing.
Yeah, the other thing that's interesting about all that is, like you're saying, yeah, the hair metal stuff, it was like a lot of bands went to LA to get a deal. So it's
Yeah.
like they're very kind of driven or operated by that crowd, you know what I mean? Like they're going to them. Whereas in 90, 88, 89, the industry came here and most of the bands had been on small labels. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And just toured their ass off. And so they kind of had to, at that point, get on board with that, that kind of way of doing things.
It's the blue collar, working mindset. Like, okay,
Exactly.
how do we do this? We don't have a ton of money, so let's go out and we're going to grind it out and make the money. And I think,
Yeah,
there's a lot to be said for bands that do that even today
absolutely.
in the social media world, right? Like
Yeah.
social media is great for what it is and can bring more fans, but I think a band that gets out there and does the thing, their fan base is a lot more solid.
And it's still happening. Yeah. Bands go
Yeah.
out there and, if you get in a van or whatever, an RV and just go play a lot of shows, people love that. And then you come through town and depending on, you might have an interesting band with you on tour. But yeah, I mean, I was doing it up until the pandemic. I was still playing with Candlebox, touring right up to 2019, you know what I mean? And people still come out to shows and they're still touring right now. I don't tour
I know,
anymore.
which is awesome. I have to say, I told you so, Kevin. I saw him a couple of years ago when he was doing the
Oh,
last tour, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
I was
Well,
like, I said, I'll see you next year, and he was like, no, you won't. I swear to
yeah,
God, I'm
you
done.
know what? He was saying that in the 90s. He was, it's
Yeah,
like, all right, it's all good.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
I
glad they're
think
still
it's
out there doing it. It's great.
me too. I think it's great, and they put on a great fucking live show, which
Absolutely.
which is like
Yeah. Band rocks.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that you're a fan of music,
Oh,
and a musician, right?
oh
Like,
my God. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. I'd like to get out there. It's just, I just don't tour anymore, but I love that my friends still do. And, it's great. It's the best. Playing in front
yeah,
of people is absolutely the greatest thing.
and with your
Ever.
friends.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah,
It's going on tour. I mean, you get lost in this. There's no responsibility. Your responsibility is like meet and greet, maybe,
right.
but then getting on stage. That's pretty much it. You know what I mean? Other than that, it's just like, I had a fold up bike. I'd unfold my bike and just buzz around town. It's the ultimate. And then
Did
you,
you have one of
yeah,
the fold ups with the small wheels,
yeah,
the little 14-inch wheels? Yeah,
yeah. Oh, it was great. And then, yeah, you come back and, you're doing your sound check and having dinner and then go rock out with your friends. Yeah, it's really the ultimate.
did that.
It's
Yeah.
amazing that I love that people still come out to shows. And I mean, I do. I was just at a show like a week and a half ago.
Who'd
Um,
you see?
I saw, you know what? Forgive me. My son's old bass player buddy, Alex, who plays guitar, and he was filling in for a band. And I'm blank. Carr was the artist,
Okay,
girl, and she was great. It was a three-piece. And Alex Arna, he was like, "Hey, it's last minute. We're playing the showbox, and I was like, "Absolutely." I booked up there, and they rocked. They were so good.
that's awesome.
Yeah. So uh, it's just a wonderful thing. It's still happening. I don't get out
It,
there like I did, but you know,
yeah, but you've got a little bit of history there, so I think you have a little leeway. Like that's. I'm going to tell you. So this is a story
um,
that goes with my wife and I are celebrating our 10-year wedding anniversary next month.
congratulations.
Thank
Wow.
you. So
Awesome.
10 years ago when we got married, she kept asking me, what do you want to do for our honeymoon? I'm like, I want to go to Japan. That's all I want to do. I want to
My
go to
son went
Japan.
there like a year and a half ago. He said it was amazing.
That's like, that's what I keep hearing. I'm like, that's it. I want to go to Japan. I kept saying this for probably 6 or 7 months. Finally, we get married, and I'm like, where are we going? She goes, Seattle. And I'm like, well, that's not Japan. She's like, no, I know, but you will never do this on your own. I know how much like that era of music meant to you. I was like, well, that's fucking cool. So we came out to Seattle, and we stayed we stayed right on one of the harbors. Like, our hotel room looked out over the bay. It was beautiful.
Oh,
And we did this tour. She found, I wish I remembered the lady's name, because I feel like everyone in Seattle, or all the musicians in Seattle, knew her, because we talked about Malfunction and Mother Love Bone and uh literally like everyone. So
wow.
she takes us around, and she's taken us to all these spots where this is the last place Kurt was seen alive. This is where they did the some of the photos for the Mother Love Bone cover. This is where they filmed singles, and she took us to this blacksmith shop, and she said, "We're going to go to the first place Pearl Jam ever played together as a band." And we went down in the basement.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's cool.
I was like,
Wow.
this is fucking cool. Like, you
That's
know,
where it started. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
One in a basement. Perfect.
So, so
Yeah.
I bought. I was gonna. bring it, but it's up on my it's up on one of my shelves. I bought a bottle opener from the blacksmith. He did it out of railroad ties. I was
Cool.
like, oh,
Wow.
that's cool. But that place is not there anymore, right?
Well, I don't know about the basement spot, but yeah, that building might not even be there. I don't know. I haven't been in Belltown. That's the area. Seattle's called Belltown. I haven't been there for a while, but all Seattle is changing, sadly,
Yeah.
so rapidly. You know what I mean? It's such a big city now, and it's just like, yeah, city blocks are gone, and it's like retail condos,
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
How many condos can we
can't
sit
stop
here?
pro
You're like,
yeah, can't stop progress.
yeah. Yeah. It's I've read a story that was the blacksmith was fighting to keep his space, but he ended up not being able to. So I don't I'm sure they were trying to charge some absorbent, amount or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
but
Yeah, those developers, I'm sure, can outbid anybody
oh
doing it.
yeah.
But Fremont's still a great little spot. Stone Gossard's got a studio there called Litho, and I was there 2 weeks ago. I have a new band called The Vases, and we just did an EP. We did 6 songs, so that'll be coming out pretty soon. It,
Oh, do you
it
know,
sounded great.
so I have two questions on that. One is, are you guys doing it DIY or do you have a label behind you already?
We're just recording ourselves right now, and then we'll figure that out later. But Ty and Steve from Green Apple Quick Step and a few other super talented dudes uh, from Seattle, and yeah,
Hell
yeah, I'll
yeah.
keep you posted for sure. I'll be
I'm gonna
blasting
hit
stuff.
Sophia up and be like, get me some of this Devasis stuff because I want to hear it like I got
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's good stuff.
it sounds cool. I'm a so weird. I'm like kind of the anti-corporate guy, and I'm finding that in the last probably 10 or 15 years, I'm seeing a lot more bands go and spend the money to record and do all the publishing and everything, and then licensing their music to labels to
Mhm.
put out, which I think is a much smarter idea for the band because I'm not sure what the early 90s looked like or hell even since then in most of the industry, but I know you heard so much about selling essentially all of your rights to the music just so you could get the
Right.
albums out.
Yeah, that happened a
Like,
lot for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, I lived in LA for 20 years, and so many of my friends, like singer-songwriters, I do gigs with, or maybe a recording here or there, and quite a few has such horror stories about record labels and, how they were treated and deals they had. And I mean, it's
yeah,
messed up.
it really is. But with all of the information out there, I think artists are finding there
Yeah,
are smarter ways to go about it, which is great because for the for the artist, I think like you made it, you own it, you get to
yeah,
say what happens with it, like
yeah. And another band that I play in called the Bowie Birds, based in LA. Uh, Noah Levinson and myself, he's super smart about that stuff, and he's got a lot of stuff licensed out to TV and whatnot. And I did the drums right here, and he's got a studio at his place, and we put that together, and he'll be, shopping things in that sense. And yeah, it's a different, uh,
it's a much different world, right? Which is, I think in part Lars was right about the whole,
yeah,
streaming and online sharing. Um, so it kind of forces bands to find other avenues
yeah,
to for those revenue streams, right? Because
yeah,
I don't know, it's hard. I think hard to say. It's hard for me to say if I see the same amount of bands getting big or if my idea of how big the bands were when I was young is skewed because you look
yeah,
at TV and you're like, oh, this band is huge and they're doing all this. And the reality might, I've just had a conversation with someone today, and I'm not going to name the band, but a band that I absolutely love. I've seen them, I don't know, a dozen times or at least. And I'm thinking they're nominated for Grammys and all of this. We're going to see them in much larger venues, thinking 900,000, 1,200 caps, somewhere in there. Seen them in venues that are like 250, 300. Hmm.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just anything goes, and my son does very well. He does all of his own everything, from the ground up. He does really well. It, and I ask him, you know what I mean? It's like he's 27 now, so and I just visited him in New York, and he's got a large network of really talented people that he knows and works with. And I don't ask too many questions. I don't want to be that dad, you know what I mean? But it's that there are still avenues out there, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And yeah, it's kind of hard to get your head around, really. I've just kind of stayed focused on what I do, and hopefully other people that I'm
Oh,
working with have a clue, and you know what I mean? Know what they're
yeah.
doing. So
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to ask you for three bands that you think people should listen to.
wow, that's a good one. Well, the vases, the Bowie birds.
You can't use either of those.
Oh, well,
We are
Jagger Finn for sure.
okay.
Uh, that's his middle name, Finn. Jagger, like same spelling as Mick Jagger. And let's see, Roy Blair, James Ivy. There's three.
Okay. Rock and roll. And I'll give you three.
Cool.
Blessed Black,
Okay.
Crop.
Okay. Cool. Love that shirt.
Thanks. And I got to think of the third one. Hold on.
You're not prepared? Come on,
I've,
man.
I have 10 million bands in my head.
Oh,
Um, well, I'm trying to think of like the last record I got was the new Neurosis album.
okay. I've heard of that band before. Yeah.
Oh, they're phenomenal. And this new album is great. They got
Oh,
I'm not even going to go into it. And I'm going to say Volcandra. So Volcandra is like
Volcandra. Okay.
they're another one.
Cool. Where are they at?
They're out of Louisville here.
Sweet.
And they do like melodic blackened metal.
Cool.
Fantastic
Oh,
musicians.
okay.
Uh,
I'll keep an ear.
they were just at the Showbox a couple of months ago.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta get out more. I gotta get on their website or something. There's a lot of great shows at the Showbox. If you're playing the Showbox, you know what I mean?
yeah,
That's what I was telling Alex. It's like, dude, you're rocking the Showbox. You know what I mean? I mean, he's been doing a lot of touring since he and my son did the Warp Tour at 13. The Kevin Says stage too. So it's like
okay,
prime slot. He was like, so it's great. These guys are still at it. I love it. And
yeah.
killing it too. So
It's cool. Okay, I know you have to go get to another one right now. So, Dave, again, thank you very much for your time, and hopefully
thanks
we
for
can
having
chat again about
me.
the vases and the buoy birds.
That's it. Yes.
Yes,
BYR, like the band Birds with the Y.
birds.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Buoy.
Dave, have a great day, my friend.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Yep.
See you,
See ya.
man.